Hello everybody, welcome to Nostalgia Goggles. I'm Chris, also known as Retro Gaming Nerd, and today we're going to talk about the new Super Mario Bros. Series. Well, one by one. I kind of recorded these videos separately and they don't work cohesively together, so two things to make note. One, we're going to review all of these and see if they're still worth playing today. The difference between what I normally do is that I'm reviewing these games back to back to back to back to back, which means that there's not really that much of a break, so my opinion kind of is more different than if I just reviewed them separately like I normally do with video games. And another thing to make note of is that this video was recorded way before this came out. This video was around the time that this was announced. It was kind of meant to be an experiment of how is this going to be different than these, and there's a huge difference. I'm actually making a video on that, this one. That's kind of why I came back to this here. So with that being said, let's talk about the beginning. Let's ask if Super Mario for the DS, New Super Mario for the DS, is still worth playing today. Now I have a lot of fond memories of this game. This is one of the nostalgic ones that I've played back in the day, and I used to love this one on card trips, and I also really used to like this game. I was a super hipster being like, this is the future of Mario. And then it was. So, let's see if my opinion still holds up. So the story of New Super Mario Bros. Is fairly simple, especially since it is not what you expect. I feel like if you're sitting there gonna go, oh, well, what is it, Bowser takes Princess Peach? No, not this time. What happens is Bowser, instead of capturing Princess Peach himself, he sends his son out to do it, and he captures Princess Peach, and it looks kind of ridiculous throughout the whole game because it's you chasing baby Bowser. So, yeah, that's the story. Nothing really to write home about. It's interesting that it's not just a generic Bowser captures Peach story, even though it is. It's just, it's different. It's interesting. It's interesting. If you're not paying attention, you could think that this was a baby Bowser game. It's not, but you could think that. With that being said, let's move on to the gameplay. So weirdly enough, New Super Mario Bros. Isn't super new when it comes down to the philosophy behind the gameplay of this one, which is interesting. This game plays pretty much like a Mario game would. The real big difference between this and classic Mario is, at least that I find is different, is the wall jump, which allows you to save yourself from certain pits and also just allows you to make jumps a little bit easier. It's not something that's utilized too much in this game, or at least in the main game. I don't know about the secret levels because I don't have time to go and find those out, and there's other reasons why I don't want to do them either, but I feel that at the end of the day, this game is fairly simple when it comes to Mario, because if you understand classic Mario all the way back from Mario 1, you understand this one, just you're able to jump from wall to wall now. The thing that really makes this game new is the power-ups. You see, the power-ups in this game are pretty much traditional. You still have your fire flowers, you have your power stars, and you also have your mushrooms. But what is added in this game is the Mega Mushroom. That's the box art power-up. That's the power-up that, I feel like is the most advertised. There's the blue shell, which is nice if you understand how it works. It's a blue shell. When you start running, eventually you can go into a shell, and it kind of works like the slide mechanic, but, you know, less damage being able to be taken. The only real difference is you're able to bounce off of walls, so you have to be careful. And also, the worst power-up known to man, the Mini Mushroom, fuck that thing. I absolutely hate that power-up. It sucks. I know that, it gets you to the secret missions. I know that it allows you to run on water. I know that it allows you to jump kind of higher, but I just don't care. It is the worst power-up known to man. And I know that it wasn't introduced in this game. It was introduced in the Mario Party series, and that's where it kind of belongs. In Mario Party, I can kind of see the fun in it. In this game, it sucks because unlike any other power-up you have, this is a one-hit kind of thing. Like, if you have, let's say you have the Fire Flower, you're able to take about 2 hits. With the Mini Mushroom, you're able to take only 1 hit, kind of like having, you know, standard Mario, and I just don't like it. I know that it makes sense for it to be that way, but I just don't like it. It doesn't feel fun to me. Worst power-up. Outside of that, this game does feel like a pretty traditional Mario game. Most of the stuff that I want to talk about when it comes to levels and stuff is more or less of presentation. So I will say that, the game itself feels super nice and super fine. It does feel like a classic Mario game, though. It feels like a nice little push forward to the future of Mario, but it doesn't feel, super different. It feels like they kind of found a safe place to go for New Super Mario, which isn't bad. I feel like hopefully we can get improvements upon this, but it feels like it's new enough, I guess. You know, it's new enough. It's not Super Mario Land, it's not Classic Mario. It is technically, if you're gonna, you know, talk about the mechanic itself, is technically new. And I think they're fine too. And that's something that I haven't mentioned. The gameplay itself is fine and it feels really nice. I just feel like it's not 100% my cup of tea when it comes to this. I feel like I could be playing a classic Mario game and get the same amount of enjoyment, which isn't bad, especially since this is portable, you know. But at the end of the day, I think that, I don't know, I feel like if you like classic Mario, this is your game. No bells and whistles, just Mario 3, I think, is the limit for like what I'd recommend this one being. Not bad, especially since I love classic Mario 3. I think this one's alright. It's okay. With that being said, let's move on to the presentation. So the presentation for New Super Mario Bros. For the DS is interesting because it's not what I would expect it to be. It's a weird mixture of 3D and 2D, and I think that's just because the DS itself, like, couldn't handle a full-on kind of 3D/2D point game. What I mean by that is, Mario himself is a 3D model where the Koopa Troopas, if they are a 3D model, they feel like they're less detailed as Mario's model. It feels like it's mostly a kind of a 2D model. I'm not 100% correct on it because I've never looked deep into it, but that's how it looks. The thing about this game is that it plays with the classic Mario aesthetic, and I think that that's what really makes this game look nice, is it plays with that aesthetic and kind of updates it instead of it just being kind of plain, especially if you've only played traditional Mario. Outside of that, there's not much more to say about the presentation. I mean, the music's a bop, but, you know, that's kind of to be expected. Mario's music is a bop. I will say that it does definitely get a little repetitive, but then again, that's Mario in nature. And I think that, all in all, the presentation for this game is fine. With that being said, let's move on to accessibility. So when it comes to getting your hands on this game, you can get this for about $10 to $30, which is a perfect price range. I feel like 30 is even pushing it. I don't think that that's 100% worth it. I think 20 to 10 is the best range you can go for with this game. With that being said though, this game is only on the DS. There has not been any other port of it. Technically it has sequels, but you know, that's as far as this goes. There's no other way to play it outside of the DS that I know of. I think the Wii shop had it, but like that's gone. So, not really many ways to play this game. With that being said, let's move on to the goods and the bads. So the real good thing about this game, all in all, is one is definitely the minigames. I know that I've already went on a rant about that, but I think that they're absolutely super fun and still worth playing today. And I think a compilation would be really cool for Nintendo to release, even though I don't know how they do that because this game kind of focused on the touchscreen. They'll find a way. Another good thing is this game is just solid. The game itself isn't anything to write home about, but like, especially today when we have a whole bunch of new Super Mario games, that's why we're on this journey. But I feel like this one is kind of a weaker one in the bunch, but then again, that's also because this is the first one and it's serviceable. I think it's fine. I think at the end of the day, there's not really much of an issue, you know, so I think it works, it's fun, and especially if you're playing it on the 3DS. Especially if you're playing it on the DS, I think it's a nice time killer, and it's really fun, and I'd like to see Nintendo do something with it. Also, I wouldn't, so it's a 50-50. This game's solid. If I can say anything bad about this game, it is the fact that I don't think that it utilizes itself enough. What I mean by that is it introduces a wall jump mechanic. I don't really see many levels surrounding it in the main game. There, like I said, I don't know much about the secret levels because I just didn't feel like doing them. I was already kind of done with the game by the time I finished it, so they might have remedied that. But I feel like there's not really a lot to do with the wall jump. I think that there may be one dungeon that utilizes it, and that's about it. It's nice to have it, and it feels like you're a pro if you utilize it in a place where it kind of is like hinted at being usable, but like, I don't know, it's a little bit of an issue. You know, you introduce a new mechanic and don't do much with it. You can definitely save yourself from pits, but like, that's really about it. Another thing I also don't feel like they utilize a lot is the power-ups. See, the new power-ups are kind of used sparingly, which I feel is okay, but I kind of would like to play with them a little bit more. I really didn't get the blue shell a lot, and I really didn't get to see the mega mushroom, and yes, you have to create levels around it, but like, I don't know, I feel like maybe I wanted to see more of that. You introduce these new power-ups outside of the mini mushroom, because for some reason there's a lot of like ideas in space for that shit. I don't know why Nintendo decided to go, yeah, the mini mushroom's my thing. I mean, hey, the mini mushroom is so utilized that that's how you get to most of the secret levels. So like, you know, I feel like another thing that I want to put in the badge is something I didn't talk about in the gameplay, but I really should have, is the fact that you fight Baby Bowser and then you fight an interesting boss, right? And I feel like that's kind of a bad too, because I don't know, I just feel like I wanted more. At the end of the day, I really wanted more. The Koopa Kids could have been utilized in this game instead. But I don't know, I feel like they remedy that enough in the next ones. We'll talk about that. But I feel like this is a good start, but like, and I don't feel like any of this is bad. I just feel like it's all okay, you know? With that being said, let's move on to the final thoughts. So is New Super Mario Bros. Still worth playing today? I think it's a fine game. I really do. If anything, the thing that I most enjoy about this game is the fact that it is a new take on the new on the Mario Brothers in general, but I just feel like I don't know, it's weird. See, this would be totally different of a take if the others didn't exist. Then I would probably still be praising this one today. But I feel like the others have done so much better, and also just in general those ones are better games, that it's kind of hard for me to sit here and be like, yeah, you should go out of your way and play this one. It's fine, it's fun, but at the end of the day, it's okay. I think it depends on who you are. If you've never played these games, you want to start from the beginning, this is a great one to start with. If you've played Wii, you know, if you played Wii and beyond, I don't know what to tell you. I think if there is one thing that this game is worth, and it's gonna sound weird, it's the minigames. That is where I've had the most fun, and even back in the day, that's where I had the most fun. But even then, those minigames were mostly used in Mario 64 for the DS, so. All in all, does this game hold up? The answer is, yeah, but it also kind of just middles when it comes to the franchise. This is okay. With that being said, we have a lot more New Super Mario to review, so let's get into it. I'll see you guys next time when I review New Super Mario Bros. Wii. For the Wii. I don't know why I stated that. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.